Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. This is Spectrum Television News at 12. We're coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. My name is Uyai Emem. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu approves the establishment of 50 billion naira seed fund to boost agricultural transformation. Senate orders investigation into military withdrawal from Government Girls Secondary School Maga. In other news, United States suspends immigration request for Afghans after National Guard shooting. We'll bring you the details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We head now to the national scene, where President Bola Tinubu has urged state governments to reconsider establishing boarding schools in remote or underprotected areas, citing the rising risk of attacks on students. His warning follows the recent mass kidnappings in Niger, Kebbi and other parts of the country. In a statement, the president stressed that poorly located boarding institutions are increasingly vulnerable to armed groups, also calling on mosques and churches to seek police and security protection during gatherings, especially in vulnerable areas. He assured Nigerians that his administration will continue efforts to secure the remaining students of St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State and other Nigerians still held hostage. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has given the green light for the establishment of a 50 billion naira presidential catalytic seed fund, an intervention aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's seed industry, improving food security, and driving private sector-led growth across the seed value chain. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who announced the approval in Abuja at the opening of the 8th Seed Connect Africa Conference and exhibition, also unveiled the Seeds for Renewed Hope program, SRHP, which will serve as the engine room for the country's new seed transformation agenda. Shettima, who was represented by his senior special advisor on food security, Dr. Kingsley Uzoma, said the fund, will deliver significant socio-economic and environmental benefits while addressing long-standing structural challenges within the seed subsector. The Vice President also announced government's plans to upgrade seed testing laboratories, intensify the crackdown on adulterated seeds, and increase youth and women participation in seed entrepreneurship. Also, the federal government has urged applicants for the second cohort of the National Health Fellows NHF program to complete their registrations ahead of the November 30, 2025 deadline. The NHF program is a government initiative aimed at strengthening primary health care delivery and expanding the capacity of the national health workforce. According to its website, the program is designed to address gaps in community-level health care by recruiting, training and deploying young professionals to serve in all 774 local government areas of the country. According to a statement, applications for the second cohort are open to Nigerians aged between 25 to 35 who hold degrees in health sciences, information technology, social sciences or other related fields. Meanwhile, the federal government has warned that Nigeria's deepening water crisis cannot be resolved by government action alone, stating that communities, states and development partners must join forces with more than 70 million Nigerians still lacking access to clean drinking water. The Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, who issued the call in Abuja during the public launch of the Lokoja Dialogue, a forum convened to deliberate on the country's persisting water crisis, stressed that the challenge is a national concern and also a personal reality for families across the country. According to Edu, the urgency of the situation requires direct community participation, adding that state governments also bear significant responsibility in finding solutions. The minister further explained that the federal government recognizes water as the bedrock of public health, food security, productivity, and national stability. In the meantime, the federal government has pledged continued support for private sector investments capable of driving industrialization, expanding supply chains, and creating sustainable employment across the country. In a statement by the Ministry of Finance, the Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said the government was committed to working closely with local manufacturers whose investments are strengthening Nigeria's productive base. He gave the assurance during a meeting in We head now to the Red Chambers, where the Senate has directed its Joint Committee on Security to investigate the sudden withdrawal of military personnel from Government Girls Secondary School Maga in Kebbi State shortly before bandits launched an attack. The resolution followed a motion moved by Senate Deputy Leader Lola Ashiru during plenary titled Urgent Need to Address Escalating Insecurity in Kwara, Kebbi and Niger, call for immediate and comprehensive federal intervention. The upper chamber also called for a probe into the circumstances surrounding the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba and resolved to dissolve its standing committees on national security, intelligence and the Air Force with a view to reconstituting them. Meanwhile, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Baru noted that insecurity across the country had increased following statements by former U.S. President Donald Trump suggesting possible foreign military intervention to address the perceived genocide of Christians in Nigeria. The committee is expected to report its findings within 2 weeks. Now to the Green Chambers. Members of the House of Representatives have sought a comprehensive action by government acts at all levels to address the rising cases of insecurity in the country. The chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs, Kafilat Obar, set the tone for the day when she said that the reality confronting the nation was dire security teams to high-risk boarding schools and also to reinforce dormitories, night surveillance, panic alert systems, invest in early warning infrastructure, cameras, sensors, and secure communication links with law. Now, Police Akwa Ibom State Command Mohammed Baba Zare has convened a stakeholders security meeting in the state following the recent upsurge in insecurity in some parts of Nigeria. He also debunked online reports that insurgents and Boko Haram terrorists have infiltrated Akwa Ibom, maintaining that such false reports would end up instilling fear in people. Azare said the meeting, which had in attendance representatives of traditional rulers, religious leaders, market and transport unions, students' union, hoteliers, Nigeria Labour Congress community, representatives and members of the press, was aimed at reviewing the security situation in the state and strengthening collaborative efforts in maintaining stability across all communities. He also expressed concern over the recent spread of fake news and unverified security alerts on social media, which have the potential to cause panic and undermine public confidence, emphasizing the need for communities to take ownership of security by exposing criminal elements, including those involved in armed robbery, cultism, vandalism, drug peddling, and other unlawful activities.
Situation in Akwa Ibom State and strengthening our collective efforts in maintaining peace, safety, and public confidence across all communities. Akwa Ibom State is widely acknowledged as one of the most peaceful states in the country. This reputation is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate collaboration between the police, our sister security agencies, and the good people of the state. Your support, vigilance, and cooperation have continued to enhance the effectiveness of our operations. Today's meeting is necessitated by two key concerns: the need to sustain and deepen the current peaceful environment within the state, and the recent security messages, rumors, and misinformation capable of causing panic, tension, and unnecessary anxiety among our people. Number one, security situations in the state. Let me emphasize that Akwa Ibom State remains safe and stable. The police command, in synergy with other sister agencies security, in the state and other security outfits in the state, continue to conduct robust patrol, gather credible intelligence, and engage strategically with communities to prevent crime and respond swiftly to threats. Through prompt interventions, diligent investigations, and community-based intelligence, we have been able to record significant successes in preventing violent crimes, tracking criminal hideouts, and arresting offenders. Our tactical teams are active, our surveillance units are functional, and our presence is visible across the state. Number two, the dangers of fake news and misinformation. One of the major emerging threats to peace is the rapid spread of fake news. Recently, we witnessed the circulation of a fake message claiming the movement of terrorists into part of south and north central regions of the country. Although Akwa Ibom State was not mentioned directly, the proximity of some of the affected states generated fear among residents. Let me state categorically clear, without ambiguity, such messages are false, dangerous, and must be completely ignored. They are designed to create fear, undermine security efforts, and distract law-abiding citizens. I urge all stakeholders, traditional institutions, religious bodies, youth groups, community leaders, and the media to help counter misinformation by sharing only verified information from credible security sources. Together, we must protect our...
In their separate responses, some stakeholders appreciated the CP and the command as a whole for their relentless efforts in ensuring peace and safety in the state. They also made key observations and commitments aimed at strengthening security collaboration across the state and unanimous strengthen collaboration with the police command, improve information sharing, and support all initiatives aimed at sustaining peace and security in the area.
The security or the peaceful nature of the Bible said is something that people outside the state talk about most times. Even while I was driving down here, some students called me from, I think, Bauchi and some other states to ask me for means in which they can, move themselves from that state down here, because some of their schools have been closed down in other states. But from the list that I saw online, I never saw any institution in Akwa Ibom State closed down. That goes to show that Akwa Ibom State's security is intact.
We, the leaders of this Arewa's People Assembly, that is the northern part of the country that are residing here in the state, I want to assure the people of Akwa Ibom State that we will try our best in every way possible to make sure we assist in securing these very states. We are assuring you of that. We have no other home than Akwa Ibom State here.
For me, security is everybody's business. And therefore, we have to go around, observe things. The Bangla, people should make his house available, people should report things to him. Our county chairman will announce in the blogs, let people be more open to him so that he can be open to the CP. Workers are on my neck on a number of issues. Today, they were supposed to be in Abuja for an engagement. They should be en route to Abuja. But on Saturday, we had troubling information about around Enugu axis to Obolafo, where some people were blocked for like 2 hours. I saw it on the internet anyway. I don't know how true it was. But with that troubling information, they had to cancel the training that was supposed to take place for labor leaders in Abuja tomorrow. And it is also troubling that in Akwa Ibom, being the east, and then somehow by the corner, We should do everything to continue to say it out, and at the end, Akwa Ibom will be a safe place. Again, I join forces with well-meaning Akwa Ibomite to say for the good jobs, keep doing it, and we'll continue to join you.
So much time that in my area, the police have been patrolling night and day. And sometimes when they come, they will call to the parties and say, they are around here. I said, thank you very much. So you have done very well in the state. When my people, the media people is out, we will say, I thought, my committee. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Let me use this opportunity to thank you on behalf of your personnel that you are putting them on field work. Their attitude still very, not unlike before, but in their approaches and the way they talk, and the way they respect people, except a few that are still operating by the spirit that followed them from the family. But the way you are operating has caused us, has helped us, quite a people, to stay calm. And then visitors that come should learn how to respect those that play host to them. I want to
Now to the continent of Africa. Military officers have claimed to have taken total control of Guinea-Bissau in a potential coup as the country awaits the result of national elections. The officers in a statement said they had suspended the electoral process and closed the borders. Recall that Guinea-Bissau's presidential and legislative elections were held on Sunday. Mbalo and opposition candidate Fernando Dias da Costa both claimed victory, but official provisional results were not expected until today. Reports say the nation has seen 4 coups and numerous attempted ones since its independence from Portugal in 1973. On the foreign scene, the U.S. has suspended processing all immigration requests from Afghans after an Afghan man was identified as the suspect in the shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers near the White House. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said the decision was made pending a review of security and vetting protocols. According to reports, the suspect of the shooting, which left 2 National Guard members critically injured, is said to have arrived in the U.S. from Afghanistan in September of 2021. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that following the shooting, the U.S. will re-examine every person who has entered the country from Afghanistan under former President Joe Biden. Still on the foreign scene, at least 55 people have been killed in a major fire engulfing apartment blocks in the Tai Po district of Hong Kong, with over 279 people not accounted for. Reports say more than 800 firefighters are tackling the blaze at Wang Fong Court, with the fire under control in 4 of the 8 buildings. The fire has been classified as a level 5, the most serious level in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, the government has paid tribute to a 37-year-old firefighter who died fighting the blaze, describing him as dedicated and gallant. Still to come in the news. Real Madrid forward Mbappe overtakes Galatasaray striker Osimhen in top scorers chart. Stay tuned for details of these and more in a moment. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. It's still the news at 12. Now we bring you the rest of the news stories. In the world of business, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN, has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to further reduce interest rates to ease the rising cost of borrowing, which continues to stifle production and erode competitiveness in the manufacturing sector. In its reaction to the outcome of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, MAN stated that it acknowledged the MPC's decision to retain the monetary policy rate at 27%, but stressed that the current lending environment remains punitive for manufacturers. Recall that following the MPC's 303rd meeting on November 25th, it's maintained the benchmark rate at 27%, adjusted the standing facilities corridor to plus 50 over minus 450 basis points, retained the cash reserve ratio at 45% for commercial banks and 16% for merchant banks, and kept the liquidity ratio at 30%. On our health news, the Gender-Based Violence Task Force in Ebonyi State says it recorded 367 cases of gender-based violence and 2 deaths between January and November. The state coordinator of the agency, Favine Nwacho, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Abakaliki. Nwacho listed the reported GBV cases as follows: physical assault 68, sexual assault 17, economic abuse 94, emotional abuse 77, inheritance rights 18, child abuse 69, and threat to life 24, with 2 deaths recorded. In sports, Real Madrid forward Kylian Mbappe has overtaken Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen in the UEFA Champions League top scorers chart for this season. Recall that Mbappe scored 4 goals in Real Madrid's 4-3 win against Olympiacos yesterday to move to the position on the leading scorers chart. The Frenchman now has 3 goals ahead of Osimhen with 6 goals after this week's Champions League games. Still in sport, the Nigerian National League (NNL) has announced the change of date for 2 match day 3 fixtures. The affected fixtures are the clash between Godswill Akpabio FC and Calabar Rovers, and Rangers Bees versus Beachy FC. Both matches, initially scheduled for Saturday, November 29, will now be played on Sunday, November 30. Godswill Akpabio FC will face Calabar Rovers at the Uyo Township Stadium, while the Rangers Bees versus BG FC encounter will take place at the Bako Kontagara Stadium in Mina. On entertainment news, Nigerian dancer and former BB Nigeria star Roselyn Afije, also known as Liquor Rose, has revealed that before going on the reality show in 2021, her initial attempts were shortened. She shared that she came close to participating in the show in 2020 and was already waiting backstage to be introduced during the launch, but the organizers still snubbed her at that point, stating that the incident made her depressed. Recall that Liquor Rose and another potential housemate, Jay Paul, were barred from posting in the 2020 edition of the reality show after testing positive to COVID-19. However, the duo made it to the show after auditioning the following year. And that's all we have in this news bulletin. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. This has been Spectrum Television News at 12. I am UIMM. Thanks for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.